Good morning. This is March the 23rd, Sunday, 2025, and this is the third class of compulsory English for BBA second semester. In the first class, now for you this is the second class because Friday another teacher took the class and I did not take the class. So in the first class, you read the curriculum and you explored the content of the curriculum. For example, you explored the units, chapters, themes. For example, we have 5 themes in this course. As you can see, there are 6 units in the course. 6 units and 5 themes. So, Unit 1, with which we shall start the course, has the theme of storytelling in business. You have 2 chapters, Dawn and 1962, taken from a memoir titled Shoe Dog, written by Phil Knight, the founder of the famous shoe brand Nike. Then you have another theme, ambition. So, in the first unit, Phil Knight tells the story of his business success. In the 2 chapters, he describes how he started the Nike shoe company. Then Walter Isaacson in the second story also talks about business and its story, right? Then you have elements of a story. Better we'll focus on elements of memoir. Last time I explained to you things like setting, character, plot, action, theme, etc. In Unit 2, you have a second theme, ambition. What is ambition? A very strong desire to do something. A very strong desire to do something. Ambition. Right. For example, Shakespeare wrote a tragedy titled Macbeth, a very famous tragedy, Macbeth. Macbeth is army chief and king's name is Duncan. The army chief Macbeth wants to become the king. Look his ambition now. He is army chief. He wants to become a king. So one day he has invited the king at his home as a guest. At night, while the king is sleeping, Macbeth takes a knife and kills the king by stabbing to become a king. And the story starts. Ambition. Ambition, the desire to be something, to achieve something, right? Like the former king these days, political parties accusing that he has ambition to become king again, right? Then you have theme of success, right? And happiness. You have an essay on what is happiness, right? Then you have a play. A long play. I did not teach it last year. I said you read. I might do the same this year also, or I might teach you. You can watch its movie on YouTube as well. Then in third unit, you have intercultural communication, cross-cultural communication, where you have very long essays, difficult essays. Not difficult, but in many cases they are dull and boring because they talk about very serious things. And I find that people of your age many times feel reluctant to read. There is a model of intercultural communication competence, right? Then how to manage intercultural conflicts effectively. Then what is cultural identity in intercultural communication. Then adapting to a new culture, how to follow a new culture, right? This is because most of you might go to foreign countries when you finish your BBA. So to give you that idea. Then in Unit 4, you have the theme of negotiation and persuasion. Here is a poem, Flea, the Flea, where a boy tries to persuade a girl for having sex. Then you have shooting an elephant, where there is a social turmoil, conflict. People are struggling, fighting. And there is an Englishman, George Orwell. He was stationed as a police officer in Burma. And he has to control the crowd. He has to control the people. So he has to negotiate. He has to persuade, right? Then you have Unit 5. That is critical thinking, the theme. Thinking. We all think. But what is critical thinking? Being conscious about how we think. Observing our own thinking process so that we think more effectively. Critical thinking is thinking in a very systematic way so that our thinking is powerful, so that our thinking is effective. Critical thinking is not taking decision hurriedly, waiting. Critical thinking is looking for evidences before you believe something. Critical thinking is asking for reasons when somebody says, right? Critical thinking is raising questions to people when they say something to you. A politician comes and says something to you, you raise a question. Why should I believe you? Then you are a critical thinker, right? Then you have creativity. Creativity is more about imagination. From the mind, you imagine, right? Then you have innovation, discovering new thing, inventing something. And you have a poem, very powerful poem by Afro-American poet, an American poet who descends from African lineage, Langston Hughes, a black poet. Small but powerful poem where the hero commits suicide but by jumping in the water, but he is not drowned. He comes alive. He tries to kill himself. Then there is another text, creative destruction, and then another essay, your boss knows more about innovation than you, about good management. What is good management? One that is not based on autocratic rules and control, but that respects talent. Then you have Unit 6, that is academic writing, how to write paragraphs, how to write essays, how to write exam essays, what is university, what things are written at the university, right? You have gathering relevant information, how to plan writing, then understanding context and practices at university, and writing and editing, all 48 hours, right? That's your course. These are the prescribed textbooks. Creative Destruction, this is a book here from this book. Originals, How Non-Conformists Move the World. Then you have Phil Knight's book, Shoe Dog, 2 chapters. Then you have how to write for university, a separate book. And then you have compilation. I have mailed you all these texts in your mailbox. Get them printed and bring. Okay. Okay, we'll start the lesson with the first unit. So what is the theme in the first unit? Storytelling in business. The theme in first unit is storytelling in business. Now, as I teach you, this is the second semester. I already taught you last semester. So what's my expectation? You stay alert. Do not fall back on the wall like they are doing. Do not fall back on the wall. Stay alert. This is not a resting room. I should change your place. You come here. Move over there with a copy and pen. Okay. Do not sit with arms like this in my class. Do not fold the arms like this as you sit, because I'm not telling a story for you to listen. Stay alert. Keep your note copy open. There should be a dedicated copy for English where you do not note other subjects. Make sure that you don't note other subjects. It's only for English. Then every day, put the day's date on top of the page. Put the date. Put unit 1. Put chapter 1. Write chapter 1. Write the title of the chapter. Write the title of the chapter. Okay. Write genre. Write genre. Genre is type of writing. So what is the genre? Is this a poem? Is this a poem? No. Is this a play? Is this an essay? No, this is a story. Right? So write memoir. This is a memoir. In a while I'll explain what a memoir is. Okay. Genre, memoir. Then write author. Knight. Write source. Shoe dog. Then write theme. Storytelling in business. Okay. Whenever you read literature like we are reading, the first thing you do is identify the genre of the text. What type of text it is. You first decide that. So as I told you, this is a memoir, right? Now, you should understand the elements of a memoir before you read the text. Then you will be able to understand the text better. Memoir is a writing based on memory. You remember and write. Now, memoir is not about other people. It's about the writer himself. Right? So, because Phil Knight wrote it, it is Phil Knight's memoir. So, it will tell us about Phil Knight's life. The memoir will mainly tell us about Phil Knight's life. I took these points from Google Gemini. Okay. What are the elements of a memoir? A memoir deals with a specific period of the writer's life. It does not cover whole life. If you write about the whole life, it's autobiography. It's not memoir. So when you write a memoir, you focus on a particular segment of your life. Have you read this story? Last time I said read the story. On Thursday. Friday I didn't take the class. Saturday was holiday. It's 3 days. On Thursday, I had asked you that when you come on Sunday, read this story. Did you read? You didn't. Why should you read? College is paying salary to me, so I should read, right? You are paying money, so we should not read. Those who take money, they read, right? You spent 3 days and you didn't read. Okay, don't read. Okay. The writer focuses on his teenage years and early 20s in these 2 chapters. How old is he when the story opens? He is 24. He is 24. When the story starts, he is 24. How old was Phil Knight when he wrote this memoir? You can't answer me because you have read nothing. He was 74. He was 74. Phil Knight was 74. At 74, he remembers things that happened 50 years before. He is 74. He is writing his life story. And he decides to write about the time when he was how old? 24. What is the year when the story starts? Which year does the story start? Which year?
When he's 24.
Which year does the story start? Which year? 1962. I wrote 64, 62. The story opens in 1962. One morning in 1962, the narrator has come home. Finishing his college study. He has come home after completing college study. He has come home after 7 years. So that means he went to college in 1955. So 7 years means 2 years masters. Those days maybe bachelors were also 2 years. 2 years bachelor, 4. 2 years, 11 and 12, 6. 1 year maybe high school, 7. Right? I saw you yawning earlier. He was yawning, so I'm just wondering, you yawn and I wonder why you yawn. Because you are lazily sitting and then listening to the teacher. Right? It's very difficult to keep listening to the teacher like this. Now, so I said, a memoir focuses on a specific period. And this memoir focuses on when he was 24 up to when he was 25. It tells about events that took place in 1 year. 1 year. So these 40 pages, there are 40 pages. I read last night between 2 and 5:30, midnight, to prepare for your class. I woke up at 2, sat down to read, and between 2 and 5:30, I finished reading 40 pages quickly. And not only that, I also made margin notes. I have summarized every paragraph in one sentence by the margin. So now I know the story. I know almost everything in the story because I read. Okay. A memoir focuses on specific themes. What is a theme? A theme is an idea that comes again and again in a writing. So here in the story, the theme is how to achieve success in life. The theme that this story explores is how to achieve business success in life. That is the theme. Phil Knight describes how he started his shoe company, the Nike company. He tells us a story, how he started, how he founded the company, how he established the company, and how he succeeded. So that is the theme. A memoir explores particular experience. For example, he explores the experience of leaving home for traveling around the world for the first time when he was just 24. He thinks it's not a good idea to travel alone, so he invites one of his classmates. And 2 people travel, but interestingly, the first place they go to is Honolulu, Hawaii Island. And in Honolulu, they need money. So what do? They get jobs. What jobs? Selling encyclopedia. They carry books, go street by street and they pursued people. Please buy, sir. Nobody buys. And Phil Knight is very disappointed because he says, oh, maybe my face is not good enough to pursue people. Maybe I can't pursue people. And very soon, he thinks he can't be a salesman. And his friend, he falls in love with a beautiful Hawaiian cutie. Later on, when Phil Knight says, oh, we are not supposed to be here all the time. We are supposed to go around the world. Let's move. His friend says, no, I can't leave that girl. Then Phil Knight goes alone to the world. Then he is alone. That's why do not trust friends. Do not trust friends. When decisive moments come, they quit you, they leave you. Right? So he explores the experience of going around the world alone. He had $15,000 when he left home. His father gave some money. He had $15,000. And he does many jobs while traveling and he earns more money. He earns money on the way while traveling. Okay. Theme, I said. The theme of this story is how to succeed in business. And the mantra for succeeding in your business in life is you must first come with a crazy idea which nobody has. Every business starts with a unique idea. An idea which nobody has, only you have. Okay? Then, so this theme of crazy idea, what is this crazy idea? In the college, or maybe school, I forgot, his teacher gave him an assignment. He said, write an essay where you plan your first business venture. He does a lot of research and he writes an essay where he argues that I will open a shoe company. Why does he think of opening shoe company and not other business? Because his hobby is he's an athlete. He loves running. He loves running. So from his childhood, he is very conscious about shoes because he's a runner. He runs, so he's conscious about shoes. So he thinks, I'll develop shoe company. And he says, I will go to Japan, the world famous shoe company, Onitsuka. In those days, Onitsuka made shoes and exported around the world. Their famous shoe brand in America was Tiger brand. Japanese company Onitsuka exported Tiger brand shoes to America that competed with Adidas. And Phil Knight established Nike brand to beat Adidas. So, the idea of establishing that shoe company runs throughout the story, right? Then there should be a story in a narrative, memoir. What is narrative arc? Let me draw this picture here. A story or narrative begins with a normal situation. Then you have conflict. Something that disrupts the normalcy. For example, before his teacher asked him to develop a business plan, business idea. Teacher said, write a term paper for internal mark, research paper. And in your research paper, bring a genuine business idea that nobody has. This was the challenge the teacher gave. He said, come up with an idea, business idea, which is unique. And he wrote, okay, I want to establish a shoe company. For that, he wrote, I want to go to Japan. I want to meet the board of directors of Onitsuka Shoe Company. And I want to submit them a proposal, business proposal. I will buy shoes from them and I will sell them in America. He wrote this in his college as a student. And when he finished his college in 1962, he acquired an MBA from Stanford University. He did MBA from Stanford University and then came home. And he was sleeping at night. His hobby was every morning he would run. His hobby was for his health, for his fitness. The first thing he did was early morning he would run. And for that, he had a pair of comfortable shoes. So he wakes up, puts on the shoes, and starts running. And while running, ideas come. What idea comes? A crazy idea comes. What is the crazy idea? I will open a shoe company. I'll go to Japan. I'll pitch my idea to the CEOs of Onitsuka Shoe Company. I will convince them to export the shoes to my company, and I will sell their shoes in America. That was his crazy idea. Now, this crazy idea does not let him sleep. Do you have an idea that does not let you sleep? Do you have an idea that does not let you sleep? Do you have an idea that does not let you sleep? If yes, you will succeed. If not, you will be a dependent on your parents. Dependent on your parents. Now, one evening, now he thinks, oh God, how should I go to Japan? How can I go to Japan? He does some work in his college in summer vacation and saves some money. He has saved some money. Look, he's in college. And in college, after classes are over, he has job. Not like us going home, mommy, give me 10 rupees or 100 rupees, 1,000 rupees. Daddy, buy me this thing. No. He doesn't ask his parents for money. He has a job, part-time job. And he has saved money. When there is holiday, he washes dishes. He does all work to get money. So, he has some $1,000 with him. But he thinks that is not enough for a world tour. World tour. He wants to go around all 7 continents, all major cities. He goes. He even came to Kathmandu. Right? And then one evening, while his father is watching television, he goes to his father and says, Daddy, I want to go on a world tour. And I have an idea. Daddy asks, what's the idea? Then he says, Daddy, I'll go to Japan and I'll go to Onitsuka Shoe Company. I'll meet the people there. I'll propose for business. First, his daddy doesn't believe he can do, but he supports. He says, okay, go. He gives him some money also. Then he calls his friend as a partner. He thinks it's not a good idea to go alone around the world. Then two people buy the first ticket paying $80. Where do they go first? They come to Hawaii, Honolulu. Now at Honolulu, they work as a salesperson. They have encyclopedia. They go to the beaches and they sell people, buy the encyclopedia. They earn some money. They stay there for some time. Then his friend falls in love with a beautiful girl. And when he says, move, he says, no, I can't leave this beautiful girl. So he leaves the friend. Look, when you have your life aim, ditch all your friends for your life aim. He quits his friend for his life aim, for his crazy idea. What's crazy idea? To go to Japan. And then takes an airplane ticket and lands in Tokyo. First 2-3 days, he goes around he stays in a very dingy hostel. He goes around the town, city, Tokyo city. Then he meets American people whom his father knows. They help him. And at last, after a few days, he finds that address of Onitsuka company. He takes appointment. He goes for interview. And the Onitsuka people think that he is a billionaire from America. He has no money. Then they give him huge respect. In a conference room, the CEO, managers, they stay down and they keep him over there in a high chair. American tycoon, they think. Oh, he's a billionaire from America. The first question the CEO of Onitsuka company asks Phil Knight is, what is the name of your company, sir? And when he gets this question, he has no company. He has no company. But he does not say, sorry, I don't have a company yet. No. If he said so, they would not trust him. They would instantly close the meeting. Within microsecond, he thinks and says, the name of my shoe company is the Blue Ribbon Company. He answers. Then they talk. He says that you can have $1 billion business in America. He convinces. Now, how does he get that name Blue Ribbon? When he had come home in 1962 after 7 years, first night he was sleeping in the bedroom. Where was the bedroom? The bedroom was in the servant's room, servant's building. When you are grown up, you don't get to live with your parents. You have to live with you have to live on your own. You have to earn money to pay rent. So he lives in the servant's quarter. There's a bedroom for him. And while he's sleeping, looking in the ceiling, he looks on the high school books on the drawer there. Then on this wall there are trophies, certificates. There is one trophy with blue ribbon that he had won in his school. And he remembers, oh, I had won that trophy. So I will name my company with that trophy. And he says, the name of my company is the Blue Ribbon Shoe Company. And then finally, he says, okay, I need some samples before I order more. Then he says, I will give you $50 and ship me some samples. He does not have even that money. He comes out and calls his father. He says, Daddy, could you please send $50 to this company? I am ordering shoes. His father sends $50. And then he leaves Japan, and what does he do? With the money he decides to go around the world. He visits almost every major city of the world. For example, let me show you what cities does he visit quickly. I'll show you what cities does he visit. Just a minute, wait a minute. Yes, Tokyo, then it's a long story. There are 40 pages. Yes. For example, he visits Hong Kong, for example, Philippines, Manila, Bangkok, Vietnam, India, Varanasi, Kathmandu, Himalayas, Indrachok, India, Bombay, Kenya, Cairo, Jerusalem, Istanbul, Rome, Florence, Milan, Italy, Venice, and then finally home. And at home, see the last question he asks. At home, when he comes home, see the last closing paragraph. Here it is, the last paragraph. They are at home. I don't know how long I stood there absorbing the energy and power of the epochal place. An hour, 3, I don't know how long after that day I discovered the Aristophanes play set in the temple of Nike, in which the, there are some more lines, wait a minute. Actually, how does the name Nike come? Nike. In Athens, the ancient city in Greece, there is a temple of Nike. There is a temple. The word Nike means victory. Nike is goddess of victory. Nike is goddess of persuasion. Nike is goddess of victory. And with her name, he names his brand Nike. Right? Then, yes, February 24, 1963, about a year after, 25th birthday. So he was born on February 24, 1938, I guess. He is 25. So this memoir tells the story of his life between the age 24 and 25. By 25, he had already established a company. Will you be able to establish a company by 25? That's the question. Right? Then, read here. I curled up on the bed and sleep came down like a curtain. Now he sleeps because he has had the company. Until now he could not sleep. An hour later I woke to my mother's calling out dinner. My father was home from work and he embraced me as I came into the dining room. He too wanted to hear every detail of my story and I wanted to tell him. But first I wanted to know one thing. Dad, I said, did my shoes come? Dad, did my shoes come? You came without reading the story, right? And I told you this story. This is a very poor kind of teaching. This is the poorest kind of teaching, where students come to class with no idea about the chapter. And the teacher tells them everything. Don't read. It's your life. It's not my life. Right? Don't read. Thank you. Let me close the camera.